Hey, it's One Take Tuesday. So to be honest, this is the second time I'm taking this, only because, I don't know why my light is so yellow. So I'm trying to fix the angles of, the light right now. You just saw a really up close face. But I guess this is, the best way I can do it. Let's see. I have, super bad light. I literally have one light in my room, and it's, a fluorescent light. But here we go, One Take Tuesday. We're going to talk about what happened in the past 3 days. Or this past weekend. I'm going to put it into perspective really quick. 129 people died so far in Paris. Let's see. Peru, when they had 2 suicide bombers, 43 people died. Japan, there was no death due to the earthquake because it was so far down into the Earth's core. It just sent up a tremor to Japan. No one died. Baghdad, there was a suicide bombing. 17 people died. And an earthquake in Mexico that happened on November 7th. 40 people dead. So there's this thing going around on Facebook. It's called Pray for the World. Some of these things I understand we gotta pray for, and some of these things are not even relevant. Like the earthquake in Japan, not even relevant. The one in Mexico, yeah, it happened maybe 2 weeks ago, a week ago. Still not so relevant to what's happening. Just all in the span of 3 days when that happened. Oh, and Kenya, when they had this assault, 147 people died. And to put it in the biggest perspective, it's 384 people died in the span of about 3 days. And why we don't, basically this video is going to focus on why US media isn't focused on the other attacks but more on Paris. It's because of really consumerism and it can happen anywhere factor. Paris is the #1 visited city in Europe, in the world. Everyone we know has been there. You gotta know someone who's been there, you might have even been there yourself. So the fact that it can happen to anyone, that's the scary part. And the fact that the terrorist attacks were targeted towards everyone that breathes is another scary part. They weren't killing people who were in universities, in schools, religious factors, or race factor. They were just killing humanity. They were trying to kill humans. Several suicide bombers went throughout the city, bombed cafes, diners, or dining restaurants. They were supposed to go in a soccer stadium. That didn't happen, only due to a guard stopping him. And I believe 2 people died in that accident. And then obviously the one that happened in a concert hall that's been the most gruesome was when they just went into the concert hall, threw explosives, and shot people. And obviously a ton of people died in a small area. So that's not awesome, because like I said, they're targeting anyone, everyone. I think that's the third factor now, the fact that these people are so well organized outside of their own country that they're able to attack several locations, not at the same time but at close time proximity. Is another scary factor. And the fact that right now Europe has allowed a lot of refugees in. They don't know how they're going to protect the people at the moment. Seeing Paris, there's more we have to step our security in some way. So that's why USA is also on a very they're trying to protect their people as well as trying to save the innocent people. And that's also why the US media isn't just covering all the other attacks but in Paris. Because it can happen in our own country, it can happen anywhere, and they're not just killing certain types of people, but they're killing everyone. Another reason is too, because it's driven by consumers. Consumers aren't really going to buy stuff that's not going to affect them as much. Lebanon, Kenya, we understand those are third world countries, and we understand that there are terror attacks there, but the fact that those happen so often in those countries, it doesn't generate a buzz. And that's what a lot of, when you try to market something, you want to generate buzz. That doesn't generate buzz when it happens so daily. I believe in one of the articles I posted, or I'm going to post down below, it's Kenya maybe experienced 100 terrorist attacks just last year, just in 2014. So if US media were to cover that daily, that's about if you're going to take 3 months That's about 3 months, like a days in a month. That's about 3 months of straight terrorist attacks. There's not much of a buzz factor, but if you take Paris, for example, in a city that doesn't really have terror attacks, that is decently well off, and you know people who's been there, you might have been there yourself, and there's attacks in it, it creates a fear of, oh my god, that might happen to me. It's the same thing as when 9/11, the bombers on the plane, when they bombed the plane, it created a fear of, wow, anyone flying could, like, that could have been me. Like, I could have been the one on that plane going to New York, or I could have been on a plane going to Pennsylvania. Like, it's just the fact that I could be in that moment, and the fact I could be there at any time, and I could have died. And being in Lebanon or Kenya, the risk factor of you traveling there, something happening, if you travel there and something happened, it's high. But the fact that people travel there isn't as high, and that's the only reason. And like I said, because it's so well organized, and that happened really quick within one another, that's another scary part. Because, like I said, Europe just let in a bunch of refugees, and they don't know who is good and who is bad at the moment. And it's really just about protecting their own country's people, because that makes the most sense. You want to protect your own first, and then figure out how to deal with other external factors and dangers. I believe that I said that 384 people died in the span of 3 days. And it only sounds bad only because their lives were ended like this. They weren't preparing to die. They were just killed. Someone went and killed them. And to put on a bigger perspective, 6,390 people die an hour. So every hour right now, it is currently 537. About 3,000 people have died. If you cut that number in half, 3,150 people at least have died right this hour, at this time moment, and 153,000 people die per day. It's sad. It is sad, and I'm not trying to say I don't want to sound cold-hearted, but it is sad. I do feel, but at the same time, you gotta look into the world in a bigger perspective. Just pray that, hoping nothing happens to you like that, where you don't die instantly. That's all I want to talk about. It's a little more grim today. And I guess my opinion on it is just that U.S. media isn't racist. It's really just based on what the consumers like buy in. Like, they have to feed it to the consumers. And it's the only reason how, it's the only way in how a company can generate traffic and money. Like I said, it's a cold reality, but it's the reality most of the time. So yeah, that's my take on it. I hope you guys have a good day. If you want more videos, I make these once a week to twice a month. But it's gonna be every Tuesday, and I'm getting decently better at editing faster and putting these out there for you guys. So subscribe every Tuesday and put out new videos. I'll be making a new video coming up too, only because I'll be doing something pretty interesting again this Friday. Hit up my social media. I have Instagram and I have Facebook. Hit that up, put a like on it, follow me on Instagram if you want to see me and my cat most of the time. But yeah, have a great week, guys. Peace.